Hi there, good morning.
Hi, everybody.
So, I have a gift for all of you. I know that you've just woken up, and the first thing that I wanted you to see was this message from me. And that's because myself and Carol Ann have been talking a lot about strengths, and that led me to discover something very precious, which I thought I'll share with you first thing in the morning. So, here I am with you again. Now, I asked a question to Carol Ann, and the question was that since she has her positivity in her top five, and she looks like a person who's never faced any negative situation ever, I was very curious to ask her, and I did. My question to her was, have you ever faced anything negative? And if you have, how do you handle it? So she narrated an incident to me, and this story was so fascinating that it led me to ask more questions to her. And when I did that, I found out something very special, which I want to share with you. But first, to Carol Ann, so she can tell you the story about how she handled something that was very negative. Carol?
All right, so it's kind of a personal story, but for the last couple years, I've worked with a woman that is very negative, and for those of you that have high positivity, you understand being around somebody that's negative is very difficult for me. It's very draining on my battery. So I can be like, yay, when I'm around somebody negative. And this particular woman is negative with a lot of people. A lot of the staff in the school don't get along with her because she's just got a really bad attitude. And so I really, really wanted to try to make a difference and to woo her. And I had given her gifts, and I made her little personal things and left them on her desk. My parents tried. They came. They brought me lunch and brought her lunch at the same time. And she was just having none of it. The issue was she wanted my job and didn't get it. And so I came in and got the job. And so she was very bitter that she didn't get the job. Long story short. So Christmas time comes around, and I had decided, I'm really going to try. I'm going to get her something special. And so I bought a gift. I wrapped it up in a big red bag and put a big Christmas bow on the top. And I left it. I gave it to her on her desk, and I said, Merry Christmas. I just wanted to give you a gift. And maybe about 30 minutes later, she came back to my desk with the gift in her hand and said, I am not accepting any Christmas gifts from you, and left the Christmas gift on my desk. Needless to say, I was hurt. It was a painful experience. I've never had anybody return a gift to me. And so I left it on my desk. And the longer I left it on my desk, I decided, I'm gonna keep it there. When I first left it on the desk, it was from a bad place, because I was angry and I was hurt. I just felt really bad that I had tried to do something good and it came back negative. So I left it on my desk. But as time went, I left it on my desk for a different reason. It changed from being hurt. I can't stay in that hurt position. So I put a quote next to the saying, next to the package. A Mother Teresa quote. It was something on the lines of, people can be mean, be kind anyways. People can be not, whatever, but love them anyways. It was one of those quotes from Mother Teresa. And I left it on the desk as a reminder for me that even though this was a hurtful thing, I still needed to be kind. And it was a reminder for me every day that I needed to still go above it and still be kind. And so I left it there. It sat on my desk for 2 years. I know. But it was a reminder for me that I had to overcome it. And it was a constant reminder for me that I needed to be in a different mindset every day. That my mindset needed to be a positive mindset, and a mindset where I could give positive vibes to people around me, even though there was this hurtful experience. So I don't know if you want to add to that or...
So after I heard the story, I told her that if somebody would have treated me like that, I would have definitely gone up to the person and held the person by the collar. Because such situations are difficult to deal with. here we have a person who wanted her job, could not get the job, and so she was being mean to her. And she was trying to get her to be on a good side by giving her gifts, which she did not acknowledge at all, right? So this is the mean person that we're talking about. And quite obviously, my first question after I heard the story was, what were this person's top 5 strengths? Would you know this person's top 5 strengths? And Carol looks at me and she says, would you like to guess her number 1 strength? And I said, well, it's very difficult to guess because I do not know strengths to be negative, right? So I can't really attribute a particular strength to it. But after she told me what this person's top 5 strengths are, I was completely baffled, dumbfounded. And for some time, I did not know how to react, right? Because what she told me created a mystery in my mind. This person's number 1 strength was positivity. Can you imagine that? Positivity.
I was shocked.
Yeah,
I was
I'm shocked too. I'm
I was
shocked too.
shocked.
How can a person with number 1 strength as positivity behave in such a mean manner? Now that led me to ask another question. What were the rest of her strengths? And I want you to tell them her top 5 strengths in that order.
Oh gosh, I
Right?
can
Please,
remember.
please tell them so they're equally surprised. And
Yeah.
after that, I'll break the lesson to you. Go.
Positivity, developer, empathy, individualization,
Connectedness.
connectedness was number 5. Yeah.
Positivity number 1, developer number 2, empathy number 3,
Yeah. Individualization.
individualization number 4, and connectedness number 5. Now, the other mystery is all these 5 are relationship building strengths. Can you beat that? Someone who has her top 5, 100% relationship building teams is so mean. And mind you, you have empathy there as well.
Yeah.
Positivity and empathy both. I was stunned absolutely.
You and me both.
I was shocked.
You know what's shocking to me is I can't live that. I can't live in that space. So, and positivity for me is number 4. It's not my number 1. So I can't imagine it being higher than that. But I can't live in a space that's negative. It just drains me. I have to be in a positive, happy, upbeat environment. Even when I'm down, there's always an upside. Even in the worst situations, I really can find a silver lining in just about anything. And not that I want to make that a challenge at all, because I don't. But it really is very easy for me to come back up. So it was difficult for me to understand how is this positivity number 1? I don't know.
Here's the lesson, guys. It took me some time to figure this out. And I have shared this with you guys on the group, that strengths work only if we give them the right ecosystem for them to work. All right? Now, what was the missing link here? What is the ecosystem that this lady did not give to herself so that her strengths could really manifest well? And the answer is very simple. If you are a person who has ego and jealousy, your strengths are not going to work. Even if you have 5 relationship building strengths in your top 5, nothing will work well for you. We have a classic example right here.
It's easy to see how people become depressed.
Yes.
How you have a lot of, like, in the States, we have a lot of depression from people. But a lot of times I see that stemming from their strengths, that they're not giving their strengths the right environment to grow.
Yep.
And when you're fighting against your own self, it can leave you in a very depressed place because you are not fulfilling who you really need to be in your life.
Yeah. And so that's when I said to her that, it's ego and jealousy that really has been the case with this person. And
have they read this book?
No.
Okay,
So
you have to read this book.
and I got this book for Carol Ann, right? In case you're not able to read this right, it says ego is the enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? I got this book for her, and while we were having this discussion, this book was lying on the table. So the moment it struck me, I told her, I said, look, hang on. She has not been able to manifest her strengths really well because she is operating out of ego.
Mm-hmm.
And Carol Ann's mother was also there. She says, no, I don't think it was ego, it was jealousy. So I quickly said to her, I said, jealousy
Yeah.
is the child of ego.
Mm-hmm.
Jealousy is the child of ego. And if you're going to give yourself that ecosystem, you would never have a situation where your strengths are allowed to manifest
Yeah.
truly well. So, is
So
that
you
right?
got it. You have to find the right spot. You have. It's so important to be true to yourself and to find the right environment for your own strengths, because your strengths need things to feed off of. You need to feed yourself. And if your number one strength is positivity, you've got to feed yourself positive things. You need to build up that strength in yourself. I know with my learner, I've got to feed it with things to learn. With my achiever, I have to feed it with things to do. So look and see what your top strengths are and feed those strengths. Don't starve them. Please don't starve your strengths. Feed them.
I do hope that these 12 minutes have been good for you. All right. While the lesson is that we need to give the right ecosystem to our strengths so that they are allowed to manifest well. But then do try and get this book if you can. Read this book if you can to really know as to what ego is all about, so that we put that in the right place and allow our strengths to truly work for ourselves. All right. I hope you like that. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye, guys.